Hey people, this is my sister Laura.
Hey, this is my sister Jean. We're the Reclamation Sisters, and today we're going to talk about your ACE score, which is... I just forgot.
Now you...
Today we're going to talk about your ACE score, which is your adverse childhood experiences.
What do you know about them?
So I am an elementary teacher, and I know that trauma-informed education has been the buzzword for the last probably 3 years. And they buy us some books and say, read them. And
here, learn this.
You're going to solve all the problems in your school, all as well. But then, interestingly, you said something about that recently. And then you mentioned the ACE score. So I just did a little bit of research so I could know what we were talking about. And so I took the test. And so you're going to talk to us about that. And then we are actually going to take the test together and see what our scores are.
So adverse childhood experiences are from before you're born to the age of 18. And from 18 on, then it's an adult trauma assessment. So they measure physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. And they also look at neglect and then dysfunction in your home environment. The higher your score is dictates a lot of how you function as an adult. All of these experiences create stress. We have normal stress, we have good stress, which teaches us coping skills, and then we have toxic stress. And toxic stress, when you're in it for like a lengthened period of time, shifts the way that your brain works and how you grow. What happens is when you have all of these experiences and you place your body into a continual state of stress, you then shift how your body responds physically, and you become more likely to struggle with emotional intelligence, impulsivity, infection and disease, and long-term illness. So it's just really important that we understand each one of these experiences. So we look at physical, sexual, and emotional abuse, and then we look at emotional neglect and physical neglect. So if I'm physically neglected, was I raised in a home that I had adequate food, water, shelter, heat? Was I emotionally neglected? Did I feel less than? Was I told that I had no worth, no value? I didn't feel safe. Then in the home, we look at who engages in our home, who's our family, and what are they bringing? So how many people were incarcerated? How many people were smoking cigarettes, actively using? Most people in the United States have one adverse experience, minimum. 12% have 4 adverse childhood experiences. People with 4 or more experiences as a child that are negative and place you in a constant state of stress allows all sorts of illnesses and behaviors. So there's a rise in impulsivity. You're 12 times more likely to become an alcoholic, 7 times more likely to have substance abuse problems. 2/3 of that group engage in thoughts of suicide or suicidal behaviors or engage in suicide. You are likely to have sexual assault toward you or be a perpetrator of sexual assault. You are likely to engage in domestic violence or be the receiver of domestic violence. Severe obesity, diabetes. You're 54 times more likely to have heart issues. Wow. Stroke. You're not able to cope and your body goes into a state of stress. So any physical ailment that's related to stress comes in. There's a higher rate of divorce as well. There's an increased likelihood that you will have a sexually transmitted disease. You will be more likely to encounter situations where you have broken bones because stress puts, and how we absorb nutrients and everything. We're less likely to have good nutrition because of the other problems in our life. Yeah. Also, we look at COPD and brain and struggles within the brain, like aneurysms and things like that. If you have a score, I believe, of 6 or more, you are more likely to die by the age of 54 because of the experiences, the health, and the situations we put ourselves in. So, it's 10 points that they looked at originally. We like to stay within those 10 points, but some people have expanded it to 16, including religion, racism, culture, and things like that. But the true ACE score is based off of Questionnaire of 10.
All right, so we're going to look at that right now. So if you want to grab a piece of paper, just a little one is all you need, something to write with, or you could count on your fingers, really. Yeah. So we're going to go through the 10 questions. Each one is just a yes or no question, and if the answer is yes, you get a point, correct?
Yes.
So if you answer yes, just add your fingers up, right? Okay, so the first question is, before your 18th birthday, did a parent or other adult in the household often or very often swear at you, insult you, put you down, or humiliate you? or act in a way that made you afraid that you might be physically hurt? If yes, then add a point. Question 2. Before your 18th birthday, did a parent or other adult in the household often or very often push, grab, slap, or throw something at you, or ever hit you so hard that you had marks or were injured? If yes, that's a point. Number 3. Before your 18th birthday, did an adult or person at least 5 years older than you ever touch or fondle you, or have you touched their body in a sexual way, or attempt or actually have oral, anal, or vaginal intercourse with you? Question 4. Before your 18th birthday, did you often or very often feel that no one in your family loved you or thought you were important or special, or your family didn't look out for each other, feel close to each other, or support each other? 5. Before your 18th birthday, did you often or very often feel that you didn't have enough to eat, had to wear dirty clothes, and had no one to protect you, or that your parents were too drunk or high to take care of you or take you to the doctor if you needed it? Before your 18th birthday, was a biological parent ever lost to you through divorce, abandonment, or other reason? 7. Before your 18th birthday, was your mother or stepmother often or very often pushed, grabbed, slapped, or had something thrown at her, or sometimes often or very often kicked, bitten, hit with a fist, or hit with something hard, or ever repeatedly hit over at least a few minutes or threatened with a gun or knife? Number 8, before your 18th birthday, did you live with anyone who was a problem drinker or alcoholic or who used street drugs? Number 9, before your 18th birthday, was a household member depressed or mentally ill, or did a household member attempt suicide? And number 10, before your 18th birthday, did a household member go to prison? Okay, so now they've added up their fingers, and I feel so... I don't know if the word is just lucky or blessed or whatever it is, that I have a 0. Right?
I have a 0. Yeah.
Right.
Big fat 0. I think that people need to understand, just because you have a score that may be a 4 or 5 or 6, or maybe you are an 8, not every time that somebody has a score does it dictate failure in your life in these areas.
So does it mean you're going to get
no
that you're going
to
have heart disease or whatever
percentage that you're more likely than the general population who don't have these? Because we also know that the one thing that in trauma-informed care for anybody is that we are, as human beings, resilient. We may have had lessons that taught us great coping skills, and then these things came later in life. So they may have been navigated somewhat. So resiliency can overcome these obstacles that are like mounted in front of us from childhood experiences. So just because somebody has a score doesn't mean that you are going to all of a sudden one day pick up a bottle and just become an alcoholic. It's the fact that we lack coping skills, and adverse childhood experiences create toxic stress, which creates the inability to cope. We have to remember that we can't allow people to shame us about what has happened. Guilt is something that we have to deal with, but we can't shame somebody because something's happened to them, because that just creates more problems for that person. But it's really important that we understand that people who overcome this, people that are in long-term recovery or get their health together and who move past these experiences and are resilient in moving forward in their life, become the best people to deal with people with adverse experiences. So when we say, oh, you know, they're just becoming this kind of counselor or doing this kind of work because they had that and they shouldn't be doing that. No, that's absolutely the opposite. People who have overcome adverse childhood experiences are the best people to deal with, because we are then able to look and say, I've been there, I've seen that, I know what's going on.
Okay, we're in the middle of filming.
Me. You not.
And then what happened was my mother walked in and wrecked the filming. And then the dog came up on the basement, and what happened was she wrecked it.
So people who have overcome or have experienced these things gain skills on how to read people, because it's like, what's that person going to do to me? Plus, you're empathic. And we talk about how important empathy is. Like, I don't have sympathy for them. I have empathy because I also, here it is again, me too.
Yeah.
And so when we understand that recovery is about being able to say, hey, that happened to me as a child. Oh my God, me too. But together we can work about talking about these things and moving past the fact that I need to numb it because there's no shame in it because it was done to me and I had no control. So again, all these important terms coming into play with how we, deal with the process of recovery. We recover as a whole human being. It's a whole person approach is what's important about recovery, like we talked about before. It's about looking at all aspects of our lives and saying, what can I do to be best in that in every area of my life? And that's how we recover. One thing at a time, one issue at a time, one day, and actually 1 second at a time. What's in front of me? How do I respond? Because I don't have control of it.
Well, on our website, on the blog, it's reclamationsisters.com/blog, and we will have a bunch of links there for you to find out more about the ACE score and these adverse experiences and some more information to get help if you need it. So thanks for listening. If you found value in this video, please click the subscribe button and then the notification bell next to it and share it with your friends. We appreciate it. And if you have anything that you would like for us to create a video on, drop us a comment down below and let us know what we can help you with. Thanks, guys.
See you next time.
See ya.
So what happened?
What happened was
I had all these terrible things happen, and then I will have to go to bed.
Okay.
Because I am child. I'm so sleepy. That's right. Get that bejeweled, bedazzled.
I think it's pretty bad.
It's your bling bling. It's bling bling.
All right.
So
Today we're going to talk about why we're so tired.
so tired. So tired. Please stop arguing with me about going to treatment. You will be much better if you do. Sir. Excuse me. Sir. You might. Depeche Mode. They want their pants back. They're looking for them.
Oh, God.
Sir.